What's up, YouTube? It's me, your friendly neighborhood comic book dude. Are you tired of Corona yet? Are you tired of being locked in? Me too. But, in the meantime, let's look at some more toys and shit. Because we got nothing better to do, right? That being said, though, we'll still be doing this after everybody's back out in the world. Because then you'll be out and doing stuff, and then you'll be like coming home after a hard day and want to look at something. And I mean, don't say me. You don't want to look at me, but it's okay to say that you want to look at these toys. I can support that decision. So let's see, what do we have today? I think we are gonna start with this. So, from our friends at Diamond Toys, a subsidiary of Diamond Comic Distributors. They put out, they've done Marvel figures, they've done DC figures. Heck, I think we've even seen some Universal Monster figures by them. So at one point they decided, we want to up our game. We don't want to do these cloth figures. We want to do full-blown action figures. But, I think they kind of wanted to go a little bit with the MCU approach and, team them up. So they put out these box sets, which this particular one has got Dracula, Frank Baby, and Frankenstein's Bride. They are limited number. They were out of 2012. And this one's actually 402 of 2012. But the thing to note is they called this a Legacy Series, but it's Legacy Series 2. I'm actually curious to see what the Legacy Series 1 looks like. I'm sure it's in the collection somewhere. I'm sure we'll come across it sooner or later. This thing's probably going to go for about $125, and that's actually on the lower end for this, because we accounted for, there's some roughness on the box. The box has never been opened that I can tell. The seals all look intact. The figures look totally undamaged. But at some point or other, I don't know if somebody, tried to clean the outside or something with a damp rag or something. It feels a little like water damage. Again, the plasticky goodness that is keeping these figures intact is wonderful. And I guess in theory, if you're the type of person that would just buy it and open it, as I've said in the past, you're getting a break on the price. Or if you're the type of person who's like, I need this to be perfect, you also can't really see that blemish that I'm referring to. It's more just a feeling. But that's a personal choice on if that's something that would affect your ability to enjoy this item. I don't think it would for me. I think I would be able to put something on display and not worry about that, but that's just me personally. This one. So I've said in the past, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. It's nothing against the franchise. I just don't really like space as a setting. That being said, there are plenty of things that I really like that are also set in space, like the Orville or, I don't know, Firefly. Just depends on the thing. I have watched Star Wars. I don't mind it. I do think my favorite would be tied somewhere between Empire and what is it? Rogue One. Just because that movie is a great movie on its own without having to be a Star Wars fan. So this next piece is from the grand old time of 1997, which, relative to a lot of the things I show you, is pretty old. It's 23 years old. Oh boy, it's a big one. Oh, it is a Power of the Force X-Wing. Look at this thing. I can actually remember being a child with my cousin who got lots of these Star Wars things for birthdays and Christmases. The green little hue there always stood out. As you started to open packages and see them, I knew exactly what it was. This thing's beautiful. This also looks to be never opened. In fact, this was the type of box that you come across every once in a while where it's I almost think there would be a layer of glue inside of here that this thing was pressed against because it's not giving way at all. Like, you have to put some serious force into destroying this box to get into the item. Like, I really honestly don't think there's a way to open this thing to get to the thing, and then put it back as if the thing had never been opened. That being said, I don't know if it's a drawback or not. I would, in fact, have to open the item to know for sure. There is a little try-me hole right here. I could stick my finger in and out of it. I'm entirely sure there was never supposed to be any plastic here because you're supposed to be able to press it. The potential issue for that is the influx of dust going in. I have to imagine every single one of these X-Wings is going to have a little bit of surface dust right at the point of openness here. Unless, of course, you bought this thing and like saran wrapped it from day one. That feels like that'd be in the minority. Regardless, this thing is beautiful. Great for any longtime collector of Kenner Star Wars products. Monetarily speaking, this would run you $75. I actually think something like this should go for more, but the market does not lie. After that, these have been moving quite nicely. They're beautiful pieces. I would think the people that are purchasing these from us are loving the quality, or else these things wouldn't keep flying off the shelves. But we've got another DC Direct 1/6 scale. Beautiful Wonder Woman. This looks almost like the really reminds me of George Perez, but this has got to be a newer version. It's like early 2000s look, like partway inspired by like Linda Carter and maybe some of the Justice League animated series. Whatever the case is, it looks great. And I think that's reflected in the price. Where are you, Wonder Woman? She is $125. Yep. Beautiful piece, though. I'm sure whoever ends up getting her will love her. There is that. Oh, what else? All right, so I don't know, 2 out of 3 or 3. Well, this isn't 3 out of 3, but this is definitely 2 out of something. Looks like, so far I've only seen 3 figures in this series. So last week I showed you guys a Star Wars Unleashed figure that was Yoda versus Sidious. So they had on the back some other figures, and wouldn't you know it, I came across the next one in the set. She's not particularly valuable monetarily. She does look pretty cool though, and I'm sure any of you Star Wars folk can critique me in the comments if I butcher her name. It looks like Asajj Ventress. I don't even know what I would know her from. If I had to guess, I would say she looks like Clone Wars. Again, feel free to correct me. I would genuinely like to know. And sometimes with some of this stuff, while you do research on some of these things, other ones I kind of just prefer to, be told. I mean, I like learning. So, she came out around 2005, though. And we are going to ask $32 for her. Sounds about right. Actually, that sounds like more than what we asked for Yoda and Sidious. Maybe it was one of those things where, like, at the time, people weren't like in love with the character, and then later on she like appeared and stuff, and they're like, oh shit, I like her, so she might be like going for a little bit more because of that. Let's see. I'll be shocked if somebody actually buys this, because I feel like this is the type of thing that you could get at like Hobby Lobby or something. I might even keep it if nobody ends up taking this off our hands. It's a cute little Franken Spice. You little Frankenstein holding on to your salt and pepper shakers, and it does come with the salt and pepper shakers in here. I mean, like, everything you see in this picture is what you are getting. So, it's from a company called World of Wonder. I really didn't see anything particularly of note about it. If I had to guess, they are probably like a company that like licenses stuff like this for cookware. It's I don't know if that type of thing goes up in price, to be honest. I'm gonna kind of like leave that alone for now and wait and see if we come across any other things like this to see. I'm actually gonna make a note too, so we can refer back to this. If it turns out like we find something down the line that's like, I don't know, Universal Monsters, dinnerware or something, and the stuff's super expensive. This guy's $20. $20. I don't know what he would have gone for retail. I mean, I found them online, so that was the average price. But yeah, it's a cool little thing just to have Frankenstein stare back at you when you're having dinner. What else we got? All right, this next one. I'm very partial to Twilight Zone. In fact, I think I brought it up not long ago when we were talking about Outer Limits. Because the packaging for one of our Outer Limits figures kind of reminded me of Twilight Zone. Found ourselves with what looks like a Talky Tina bobblehead. And she does talk. She says 5 phrases. I will say that the seal on this does look like it's been opened. She is in there, but just a full disclosure type thing. I'm a huge fan of Twilight Zone. I don't know if somebody's a particular fan of this will be great for them. I can't. I can never get into this episode. When I go back and I rewatch Twilight Zone, and I'm so grateful that it's on Netflix, because I used to have to wait every year for the they had like New Year's Eve marathons, and they would have like 4th of July marathons. And now I can go back and watch them at will. But the problem is I'm so stuck in my ways that I only ever rewatch the ones that I know I already like. And I just could never get into this one. So, my own personal preferences aside, though, Talky Tina is going to run you $75. She just, there weren't many of her out there that sold, and the ones that sold for around that price. So, actually, I think that was even the lower end of that, because I wanted to try to take into account the broken seal. So, but yeah, Talky Tina. ABC, or is it ABC or is it CBS? Oh, it's CBS. CBS is not paying me to say this, but if you haven't watched the new Twilight Zone just yet, the one with Jordan Peele, that's worth watching. I was genuinely skeptical myself. It was good. There was, out of 10 episodes in season 1, I think 2 of them were like but most of them were great. They got like big name actors to do them, kind of like they did back in the day with like Shatner and I don't know, the names are escaping me at the moment, but it was good. What else do we got? Nope. This guy. So sort of in line with our whole not a fan of space thing. This definitely confused me. I've got a friend who I'm not sure if he's been watching any of these videos or not, but he's probably my go-to Star Trek guy, and he explained this to me once, and it definitely made my head spin. And I'm the type of person that will dig deep for like continuity and retcons and things like that. Like, I don't have a problem wrapping those concepts around my brain. I just had a hard time understanding this one. And so this has to do with Star Trek. In the whole old timeline, new timeline thing. I don't get it. Maybe somebody better than my friend can clue me in on that one. But we came across an old Spock. They actually went out of their way to... Well, not old Spock, I'm sorry. Original Spock. This is the one that's based off of Nimoy. And, who else? This is the one that had Kirk as, Chris Pine, and new Spock was, Zachary Quinto. And at one point, there's I did watch the first and the second ones with this friend, and at one point they have him, like communicating from the old timeline with the new timeline version of himself, and I just looked at that and I'm like, don't explain it. I'm not gonna get it. But it's a cool piece if you're a fan of Star Trek or this iteration of Spock. I'm sure most people are. No offense to Zachary Quinto, I prefer him as Siler, not Spock, but maybe that's just me. Wow. That being said, I really couldn't find many listings out there for this guy. I think we're gonna throw $20 on him and call it a day. You know, if you're a fan of this, you're gonna get this guy for $20. This is another one of those times where like I couldn't find the retail cost of this. I would be shocked if it was exactly $20, just because it's a licensed product. Anytime it's licensed, I mean, like these toy companies are I would be shocked if the amount of money that they made was more than half of the cost that they were charging you for it. So if this guy sold for $30, you know, CBS's parent company who owns this guy is taking 20 or 18 out of 30, and who made this? Playmates is getting $12. I mean, I think they're relying on volume when it comes to things like this. So, but he looks cool. The likeness is pretty good. So, pretty hard sell there for a $20 toy, right, guys? Oh, this next one's another cool one that I don't know. It's funny the cost and rarity of some of these items. The next one comes from our friends at McFarlane, who make beautiful looking items, and this is an alien predator diorama. I feel like the light's kind of bad today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just waited too late in the day to do this video, but it's a big old xenomorph going down against a predator. It's a 2-pack from the Movie Maniac series. It was actually Series 5. To be joined by the likes of Legend, Wishmaster, Terminator 2, and the Tooth Fairy. Seal is still intact. But it's not that pricey an item. If this is one on your list, it's only going to run you $40. So I again would be shocked if this only went for $40. It's McFarlane. It's licensed. $75, $80 probably. Getting this thing for half price. I don't know if there's any. My only theory on this has got to be the fact that it's maybe McFarlane mass produces, so there's a lot of them out in the world. Ergo, driving down the ability for one to get it. They're not so well. Actually, they are kind of old. This came out in 2002. 18 years old, and it's probably worth half of what it came out for. But we are not here to speculate on why things cost less. We are here to get people good deals and pieces of Frank's collection that they can enjoy. Oh wow. This next one is keeping in line with our Marvel Universe toys, which, to be honest with you, I didn't expect this one. We had the Sentinel, we had Galactus. I saw like Galactus on the back of the Sentinel, and the Sentinel was on the back of Galactus like as an ad. I didn't see this guy on either one. I don't know if it's because he's a Walmart exclusive or what, but we've got Goliath, and he comes with a little mini Iron Man, and he also comes with a reprint of an Avengers comic that I can't see the number. I would bet dollars to donuts that it's the first appearance of Goliath from Avengers, which all of that is really cool. Again, there are... Oh, it says it right up top. Genius. Good job, Nabil. Avengers 51. I don't know if it's the fact that it's only at Walmart. I don't know if it's the fact that it's the yellow and blue version versus there was another version of this. I think it was like light brown and dark brown. I don't know if it's the reprint. Could be anything. This guy is going to cost you $125. Exclusivity is the name of the game. Exclusivity usually means there are very finite number made, even if they don't tell you it's out of 3,000, 10,000, whatever number of pieces they made on this thing. there is probably a lot less, and that's usually what Walmart's paying for, or Target, or whoever. They're like, we want exactly this many made, and we're going to pay you this much to make sure you don't make any more. Although if you start to notice these days, what they're starting to do, too, is the toy companies are getting smart. They're saying, we'll give you timed exclusivity. And, I mean, I'm not sitting in the contract rooms as a fly on the wall. I'd love to be. I would have to guess that they probably say, here's the price for this amount of time, or here's forever exclusivity. And toy companies look at this stuff and they run their own numbers and they're like, people are only going to be interested in this thing for so long. Why do we want to pay for a lifetime exclusivity? Let us reap the benefits while we can. So then you'll get things like GameStop exclusives, Hot Topic exclusive, things like that, like Pops. Pops are a great example. And I can tell you this for a fact, working in a comic book store, we get the previews catalog, and I don't know the exact number, but there is a lot of those Pops are timed exclusives nowadays, because then they'll end up in the catalog and it'll say something like previously available from another retailer. They won't name which one, but they'll say that, and then you'll know. It's like, oh shit, so I've got the one that has the Hot Topic sticker, and then they're going to make the one without it, which there is still a market for things like that, but sometimes some people just don't give a shit. Some people want the thing and don't care about the sticker. Anyway, next thing. Wow, this guy's another. Whew. This is our first NECA today. I feel like we usually have a lot more NECAs. I think I can count on one hand, or maybe half of one hand, how many NECAs we got today. But Child's Play Part 3 Chucky. He even comes with a little Good Guys box in the back, like a yellow box that if you take him out, you can put him into the yellow display box and make him look like he's the version in the box. And he's not a cloth figure in the strictest sense, the way some of the ones that come like this version are. But he's got like real hair as opposed to like textured plastic hair. Maybe that's the version that's supposed to make him like cloth. That being said, he's about 15 years old. No, not Charles Lee Ray. He's probably a lot older than that. But this guy is running at about $80. I have no clue why. The high end, I saw him sold for $150. So, I mean, compared to that, 80 is pretty good. But again, it's the average. You might find one or two sold that are less than that. So, but yeah, must be a harder to come by NECA. Or maybe it's like one of those things where because it's like Child's Play 3, they didn't make as many, or there weren't as many people out there hunting for it at the time. And then later on down the line, they become like collectionists where they're like, fudge, I want all the Chuckies. So, either way. Next. Oh, this is a cool piece. So sort of in line with our Marvel Universe Goliath there that came with the reprint comic. Got this set of Justice League figures. This, however, is not Walmart exclusive, but we got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and it says Justice on the bottom, which isn't too specific. A lot of maybe to the untrained eye, they wouldn't notice the difference. They're like, oh, somebody cut off the word League. But Justice was actually a specific comic series by Alex Ross. And if you've never read it, they even give you the first issue as a reprint included with this. This, however, also seems to be in the same boat as those Universal Monsters figures we started the video with. It's got a bit of a roughness to the texture on the parts that aren't the plastic. My experience would say water damage. I couldn't tell you for sure. All the figures are wrapped in plastic. They have never been opened. And they'll come with stands. Ooh, that's really cool. I love it when figures come with stands. But yeah, again, as always, full disclosure, I don't want anybody to like buy something and then they get it and they're like, oh, what is this? Ugh. So, but this comes from our friends at DC Direct, same as the Wonder Woman that we had today, or the Earth 2 Flash, or the Zatanna. It's not super expensive though. we're gonna ask $65 for this, which I don't know. I feel like on its merit is a pretty good deal. Alex Ross is arguably one of the best artists in the comic industry today. The likenesses on the figures are pretty spot on. Just looking at them, a figure like this would run you about $25 each. So $25, $50, $75, $100 comic. It's a reprint, so it probably wouldn't go for a whole lot, but $5, $10. $110 at what I would call just general value. I don't know what this thing would have cost at the time. I feel like they would have given you a bit of a price break, maybe like $80. Either way, you're not paying what it should be worth or what it's probably retailed for. So, yeah, 65 on this guy. Oh, man. What else we got? Oh, cool. So we've got some more. I know you guys love these. So far, like, these just everybody asks about these things. Like last time we did Frankenstein and Wolfman. Sideshow figures, the action figures, not the cloth figures or statues. But even the action figures, like people go apeshit over these guys. They're just good quality, beautiful likenesses. Some people are just trying to collect some of these older ones that they just couldn't get their hands on at the time. So out of those, this week I grabbed two more. To keep you guys like salivating because he had series 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5 have already sold to a private collector. We got ourselves here. Okay, so this is actually from series 2. This is our friend, the creature from the Black Lagoon, aka the guy from oh god, what the hell was the name of that movie? It was like a Del Toro film where the lady falls in love with the creature. Somebody's gonna like put it in the comments. I'm gonna feel real stupid. I'm gonna probably look it up after too. Something water. No, I don't remember. But yeah, beautiful. Got the sideshow toy logo. Things in pristine condition. He comes with a little stand too. These stands are beautiful though. They're like little placards. They tell you the name of the thing. They got a little bit of the stuff with them. Tells you when their film debuted. Beautiful. It's like they built the diorama for you, and then you just like set them all next to each other. Creature is gonna run $65. I feel like he's kind of the Shemp of the Universal monsters at times. Like he's another one that people probably weren't like buying like that at the time, and then realized later they're like, fudge, I got the other two figures from Series 2 and I don't have this one. Well, now you need him. On the other hand, though, this other guy from Series 1, who one would think would be worth a lot, maybe he was the Shemp of Series 1, is our friend there, the Boris Karloff Mummy. Comes with a fair amount of swag. Comes with a lovely stand. Look at that. Look at the little diorama that you could build with him. Beautiful. Unfortunately, market value on this guy just wasn't like anything too crazy. And he's actually... so, Wolfman, Frankenstein, and him make up all of Series 1 of Sideshow. So, if you're the guy who bought Wolfman and Frankenstein, this might be up your alley. And this one's only running $30. I think we did something similar with Wolfman and Frankenstein was $40, Wolfman was $30, and this guy's $30. So I guess in theory, whole set of Series 1's $100. It's not bad. Yeah, I don't know about Creature. Creature's low was $40 and his high was $90. So, but yeah, there's that. What else we got? Let's go back to our friends at McFarlane. With a Movie Maniacs Series 2 Psycho. No, not Psycho Killer. Well, actually, yeah, Psycho Killer. It's Norman Bates without the wig. He's got his little display stand that's got the poster of the film, which is pretty cool. This one shared his line with The Crow, The Psycho, Bride of Chucky, Child's Play 2, Scream, and Pumpkinhead. I actually was told a little while ago, too, that this is probably one of the only iterations of Norman Bates out there. I don't know why. He just isn't going for that much. We're gonna ask $25 for this guy. That's just what the average was. But that just kind of tells you that the sales aren't that high to make the average relatively low. That's probably what retail was on him. So, and he's still new in box. So, after how many years? 1999. After 21 years, you don't have to pay any extra to get it. It's like you could walk into KB Toys in 1999 and buy this off the shelf. Pretty good. Psycho Killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Ba, 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 ba. So we've been tweaking around with the Barbies a little bit too. There's a market for them and people are interested. So as I come across them in the collection, I kind of am like, okay, well, people like this stuff, so I'll grab it. We got one that's Silver Label Barbie Collection Supergirl. Tying in with DC here. Our friends at Mattel did a handful of these. I have seen other ones in the collection, so you'll come across this sooner or later. I can't quite tell you what model they were going for. She could be the movie version. She could be the grown-up version of the animated series. She could be from the comics from like 2005, because this was 2008. So hard to say. I mean, they could have just made an amalgamation based on like all the Supergirl designs out there. She's gonna run you $90. Barbie collectors do not play around, and she's got a cool little diorama too. So I don't know. $90 gets you this lovely lady. Actually, too, the other cool thing, I kind of missed out on it with the pandemic. I go to a handful of conventions every year, and the actress who played Supergirl in the movies, who actually plays Supergirl's mom on the show now, was supposed to be at a con that I was going to go to, and I hadn't found that yet. But if I had found that and then gotten to go to the con, that was sort of my idea with some of these things. Like, if I came across things that would coincide with conventions I was going to, I intended to get signatures on them. But I also didn't want to hold up the ability to get these to people who want them. The fact that we have no idea, one, or if some of these conventions will be rescheduled or pushed out to next year, whatever the case might be. So, yep. But yeah, that could have been signed by her. Alright, in the home stretch here, we got one left, and another mystery here. This guy looks beautiful, in my opinion. It's a Mattel Batman, blue and yellow version. He's got his own little stand. He's kind of bendy, opposable. I mean, I guess relative to some Batman figures, he's a little bit like action figure-y, kind of like a 12-inch like G.I. Joe or something. I still think he's pretty cool, but we're letting him go for $15. He's just not out there in the world getting like chased after like that. So can't ask you to pay more than what he goes for, I guess. And that'll do it for today. As always, stay safe, stay sane. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, I said describe. I didn't actually say subscribe. I don't care if you subscribe. Describe what you liked, but then subscribe after that. I've been your host, the Friendly Neighborhood Comic Book Dude, and I will catch you guys next time.